Deu arquivo corrompido. O vídeo que eu fiz, acho que deu 1 hora, mais ou menos. Então, enfim, vou gravar de novo, né? Vou gravar uma parte que eu já joguei. A gente parou aqui. O primeiro episódio foi Pesadelo? Não, peraí. Foi aqui na delegacia. Não, foi na... Esse episódio volta 3 anos no passado pra relembrar o que ele e a esposa dele tipo, faziam, né? E vou ter que jogar tudo de novo. Jogar delegacia, Parque Nacional, Sinal e Escritor. Vou gravar de novo. Fazer o quê? Enfim, vamos lá. Possuídos, tá. Acho que é aqui que acabou o primeiro episódio, que foi no posto, né? Tinha acabado no posto o primeiro episódio.
Previously on Alan Wake. I came to Bright Falls with my wife, Alice.
Thank you for coming here with me. I thought maybe you could write here.
I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
Now, she's missing.
Alice? Alice?
I woke up behind the wheel of a crashed car. I'm missing a week. I was attacked by shadowy men straight from a nightmare. The sheriff took me to the lake Alice and I had stayed at, but the cabin had disappeared.
Honey, I'm home.
Back here, sweetie. How was it?
Worst weather I've ever seen.
You should put some coffee on. It'll warm you up.
Tá. Aqui eu acho que não tinha nada pra interagir por aqui. Acho que é só o café, se não me engano, pra ligar
Coffee's on.
pra ela, né?
Thanks. I'll need it if I'm gonna finish this by tomorrow.
Aqui também não tinha nada. Não tinha nenhum arquivo, manuscrito dele. Tá. Eu vou jogar até a parte que eu tinha jogado. E aí... Acho que daí o outro vídeo vai ser novidade pra mim, né? Porque eu não vou saber o que vem pela frente. Vou pegar o manuscrito. Tá.
This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up with me. It had been a long time to bear the pain. My blood painted the snow red. A gruesome slushy dissolved all the scattered painkillers and leisurely dripped down to the sewer, mingling with the bile of the city, becoming one with it. I can see them now, my wife and my baby. Honey, I'm home.
Tá, eu acho que é esse manuscrito mesmo que... Agora pra mim saber os manuscritos que eu tinha pego. Vai ser difícil agora, hein? Eu acho que é... Na hora que eu abri veio pra esse, né?
This was a late goodbye. 13 years after I'd gotten my revenge, it had finally caught up.
Presença obscura na lanchonete.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intended.
Ah, era pra ser... Provavelmente era esse mesmo. Esse manuscrito. Tá, vamos continuar. Qualquer coisa eu vou falando que ia acontecer, né? Porque eu já tinha pego os manuscritos. Tá, é o livro dele. Aqui eu acho que não tinha nada pra interagir, se não me engano. Acho que não tem nada. A tempestade de inverno, né?
as many roadways are already closed, and city officials are not expecting snow crews to keep up with the weather. We're now on the third day of the blizzard, and the weather is not expected to clear up anytime soon.
Se tem alguma coisa aqui. Tomara que não dê arquivo corrompido de novo, né? Meu
Oh,
Deus.
hey, I just finished those cover mock-ups. They're on your desk. Tell me what you think.
No kidding. I didn't think you'd get them done this quickly.
On occasion, I can perform all sorts of miracles, my dear.
Oh, really?
Well, you seemed to think so last night.
These look really good.
Oh, sure, until Barry gets his hands on them. Which, by the way, will happen over my dead body. The last time was the last time. Oh, and speaking of Barry, he called. Alan! Alan, please check the fuse box.
Tá, aqui era
I'm
pra...
right here. I'm on it, honey.
Só ligar o disjuntor. Usar.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Okay.
Tá. Putz, agora eu não lembro o que eu fiz aqui. Ligava o disjuntor. Não, vá até a Alice. Ah, sim.
Hi.
You okay?
I'm sorry. It just really spooked me.
Don't worry. We'll just break out the candles.
I
Ah, era só isso mesmo.
But it's just, especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
I love you.
Tell me a story, writer.
Okay. I used to have these nightmares when I was a kid. The dark really spooked me, too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure.
Here it is.
Alan.
Maybe it'll help you, too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy. You made that up right now, didn't you?
No. Seriously.
I love you, even if you are a liar. Thanks for this.
How do you feel, Mr. Wake? Any nausea, disorientation, anything like that? Mr. Wake, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. My head's fine. I had to lie about my headache and memory loss. He'd send me to a hospital for tests. I couldn't leave without Alice.
Very well. I don't think you have a concussion, but you've obviously been through quite a shock. You should take it easy for a couple of days.
Thanks.
Well then, Mr. Wake, we're done here. If the pain gets any worse or you experience any other symptoms, you should come see me. I'll let you get on with it then. Sarah, Sheriff Breaker, is waiting for you. She's very good at her job. I'm sure she can locate your wife in no time.
Doc Nelson was the image of a small-town doctor. Sheriff Breaker had called him to the station to take a look at the cut in my head.
Tá, aqui não tem... Acho que nada pra interagir. Não tem nenhum arquivo, nada. Pelo que eu me lembre, né? Outra sala. Opa. Here. Você viu este homem? Desaparecido desde o 20/6/7. Características de identificação. Dom de vencer competições. Esse aqui eu tinha visto. Só que eu não lembrava, né?
Come in, Mr. Wake. Your phone's on the desk. The battery was dead. It's charged now.
Tá. Ela carregou meu celular.
Your phone, Mr. Wake?
Calma, mulher, calma. Relaxa.
Have you started looking for my wife yet?
My men are already on it. Now, can you tell me what happened?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. We were arguing.
I walked out of the cabin.
The cabin on Cauldron Lake?
How did you end up at Stucky's gas station?
I wanted to tell her what had happened last night, but I couldn't. She'd lock me up. Excuse me, I need to take this. Hello?
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife.
Who is this?
Go to the back lot. There's a hole in the fence on the left. Look inside the junker. I left a little something there to convince you we're all on the same page here. After you ditch the cops, you're gonna meet me in Elderwood National Park. There's a spot called Lover's Peak. Midnight. Don't do nothing stupid, pal. We're watching you.
É, a polícia tá desconfiando dele e tem mais esse maluco ainda que fala, né, que tá com a esposa dele, que não sei o que. Mas tem. E de onde eu vim?
Mr. Wake, can I help you with anything?
I need to get some air. The sheriff said I could go out back.
Of course, Mr. Wake. You can get there through the cell corridor. Just don't mind Walter in there. He's one of our regulars.
Aqui não dá pra...
I couldn't go anywhere yet.
Aqui não dá pra
I
sair.
had to play along with the caller.
Oh, no
Alice's
such
life
luck.
was at
He
stake.
went on a bender and beat Danny pretty badly. He started shouting like that the moment he woke up.
Examinar.
Yeah, it's Mulligan here. I'm at Stucky's gas station with Thornton. There's no sign of him.
Aquele último capítulo foi no posto de gasolina, né?
This is Thornton. Look, we've located the bracelet. It's here. That's some goods, right?
Ó, pegar manuscrito. Vamos ver se vai pro manuscrito aqui. Aí, ó. Acho que tá certo.
Alice looked through the viewfinder, lining up the shot. Cauldron Lake was breathtaking. Something caught her eye. A figure standing in the shadows behind the cabin, like a thin woman in a black dress. She lowered the camera and looked again. No one there. Just a collection of bushes that looked vaguely human-shaped. She shook her head and laughed.
Tá certo, acho que pelo que eu me lembro era esse manuscrito mesmo. Então, acho que dá pra continuar. E os manuscritos eles vão ficando na sequência certa que eu tinha pego.
Hey, you! Can you help me? Can you turn the lights
Cabe. Tá bom. Tem mais um manuscrito aqui. Mais um.
In spite of its human mask, to describe the dark presence as intelligent would have implied human qualities on something decidedly inhuman. Nonetheless, it found the one spot in the diner that was dark enough. Some light spilled into the corridor, ravaging it. But it took the pain. Horrible as it was, the writer would soon fix that. He would be coming to the one place where it still had power.
Esses manuscritos meio que vai preparando a gente pro futuro, né? Bom, agora eu já sei o futuro de 1 hora. Foi 1 hora que eu joguei. Lá pra fora.
The early morning light hurt my eyes and made my head ache. The man on the phone had said, go through the fence on the left.
Tá, eu não vou ligar o rádio porque não tem muita informação. Não lembro se tem informação. Será que tem pessoas sumindo?
Well, folks, it's been another long night, and it's about time for me to sign off for a while. God knows I need my beauty sleep. Just one more item before I go. It's been a busy night for the sheriff's department. We've had a few broken windows, even a report of shots fired on Main Street.
Ah, não tem muita.
Thornton had to deal with 2 intoxicated young men who were celebrating.
Ah, eu sei que é pra cá. Aqui tem uma abertura. Tem um manuscrito aqui. E também.
The kidnapper fired his gun one last time, and the shadow vanished into the darkness it had come from. See? Nothing to it, Wake. The thought of Alice in his hands was revolting. We stood on the wooden platform of Lover's Peak, the waterfall on the mountain behind us, the lights of the radio mast blinking red in the heights above. I fought with the urge to take a swing, force myself to speak. Let's cut the act now. Where's my wife?
Tá.
The caller had told me to find a hole in the fence behind the police station. There was something for me in an abandoned car. Alice's driver's license had been placed on the front seat. The caller meant business.
Deixou por aqui, né?
Barry?
Ow! Ow! Thank God! Where the hell have you been? I've been trying to reach you for a week, you and Alice. I've been worried sick. I flew out yesterday. I'm here in Bright Falls.
Barry, listen to me. I'm at the sheriff's station. Come and get me. I can't talk now.
Al, what the hell is going on?
I had to get the sheriff to let me go. I needed to get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Tá, vamos... A gente tem que voltar pra delegacia.
A writer is a light that reveals the world of his story from darkness, shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Tá, vamos...
Marvelous, Sarah.
Ele viu ele mesmo.
Wanted to settle all the damage the Anderson brothers might have inadvertently
Dando
caused
sugestões
on
a
their
ele
recent
mesmo.
and
Ele do
regrettable
futuro.
outing. They are not accountable for their actions, of course. I can assure you that my...
Are you feeling any better, Mr. Wake?
I'd like to leave. Am I free to go?
Well, we still need to talk about...
Am I under arrest?
No, of course not. But I need to know where you'll be staying so I can get in touch with you.
I'd avoid the motel. The Majestic is known for its roaches. The cabins at Elderwood are pretty nice, though.
That sounds perfect.
I'm Dr. Emil Hartman. I'd like to invite you to stay at Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Did you talk to my wife?
I had the pleasure of discussing your situation with her on several occasions.
Did you set something up with her?
I invited her here. My clinic is a place where...
Oh, hey! Oh, my!
Take it easy.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. If you have business with Mr. Wake, you talk to me. You yokels won't know what hit you once I sick my lawyers on your asses.
No harm done, Sarah. I'm all right. I don't want to press charges. Mr. Wake, my offer still stands.
Get me out of here.
What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
I had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. And he believed that Alice had been kidnapped. Anything beyond that was another story. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
Mr. Wake! Barry, you found him!
Hi, Rose.
Oh, wow. I was just thinking about you, too.
Great.
I was just bringing Rusty some coffee. He's on the balcony, looking after Max. Poor thing. I really need to go. Great to see you again, Mr. Wake. Later!
Who's Max?
What an airhead.
Jeez, Mr. Takes a swing at everybody. This is not her fault. She's a very nice girl and, more importantly, a fan.
Tá, nosso agente, ele só pensa em dinheiro. Ele já tá ganhando dinheiro com a gente com o livro, né, do Alan. Quer mais histórias ainda. É um mamute. Um fóssil. Tá. Não tem relação com a história. Então vamos... Se não me engano, nenhuma dessas portas elas abrem.
Seriously, Al, what you were saying in the car? Just listen to yourself.
E fala
What,
bastante
you
também.
shot a guy and his body just disappeared? When was the last time you slept? Are you high? Have you been drinking?
No! Look, Barry, I'm missing a week, and someone's got Alice.
Do you
and everything's
understand
just...
what it sounds like when you say stuff like that? Don't get me wrong, it's a good story, could be a bestseller. But when you start confusing fiction with reality,
Outro
you're
livro.
buying yourself a ticket to the funny farm.
Wait here.
Easy there, boy. I'm almost done.
Hey, Rusty, right? You rent cabins.
Oh, Mr. Wake. I'd shake your hand, but mine are kind of full here. Actually, I'm sorry about this. Would you mind grabbing the registration form from the desk? It's just across from Bucktooth Charlie.
Okay, sure.
Tá, vamos pra...
What happened?
Pegar o arquivo ali.
Seriously, Al, you can't just go and meet a kidnapper. Those situations always end up in disaster.
Falei que ele fala bastante.
You gotta talk to the cops.
She's my wife, and it's my call. Can we talk about this later?
No, this whole thing. Listen, you hit your head. I mean, geez, Al, come on. You gotta understand how crazy all this sounds. If you're trying to pull a joke on me, freak me out, it's working. Ha ha, let's have a laugh on Barry. Well, you had me going there real funny, Al. You can quit it now.
Tá, cara. Ele tem cara de que personagem que vai morrer, né? Mas é, até onde eu joguei, acho que deve ser uns 30 minutos pra frente, sei lá. Ele não morreu ainda. Dá a impressão que é aquele personagem que morre rápido na história. Ó, peguei o formulário. Falar alguma coisa? Acho que tem que entregar pra ele. Não prestei atenção. Nem lembro também como que... Ah, é isso mesmo.
I think this is the form you wanted.
And here are the keys. Okay, you're all set, Mr. Wake. Glad to have you staying here.
Tá, vou pegar a
Thanks.
chave.
Can you tell me how to get to Lover's Peak?
Oh, sure. It's at the end of the nature trail. Just follow the paths, you'll get to it eventually. It's an easy walk. Nice spot, too.
Caramba, o cachorro caiu
If you
numa...
have any trouble finding it, just keep your eyes on the radio
Uma
maps.
armadilha,
It's
né?
right below that.
Look, Al, you're asking me to believe that you shot a dude who went poof into thin air, a guy who was bulletproof until you pointed a flashlight at him. You hear that from people who end up spending time in padded rooms, strapped to their beds, wearing white shirts with too long tangled up sleeves, and eating a healthy diet of pills. Al, you make cruel jokes about people who believe that kind of stuff. You're the skeptic. You gave me an hour-long lecture on homeopathy last month. What was it? If there's no proof, it's pure bullshit. Period.
Guess the laugh's on me then.
Al, come on! I mean, okay. Okay, maybe something weird happened to you, okay?
Well, thanks for the heartfelt vote of confidence.
All I'm saying is you gotta throw me a bone here, bestseller. What would you think if it was me? There's no way you should be going out at midnight with a gun.
No one asked you to come here, Barry. Either work with me on this or go straight back to New York. Your choice.
Barry tá meio encucado porque o Wake, né? O Alan Wake, ele é cético. E esse tipo de coisa dele vir falar pra ele, né? Meio que deixou ele encucado. O gordinho tá com um certo medo. Bora lá. O gordinho tá assustado.
That's just crazy talk, Al. Al! Al? We should go to the sheriff or call the FBI.
Damn it, Barry, they'll kill her! This is not a goddamn debate, Barry. I'm going to Lover's Peak. He said to come alone.
Okay then. I understand. But you're my best friend, and I'm worried that you're not right in the head. Tell me what to do to help, and I'll do it.
You stay here, and if I'm not back by morning, call the cavalry.
Achoo! Achoo! Just be careful with the natives, Al. These yokels are dangerous. Everybody hates a tourist, or it'll be deliverance all over again. Achoo!
Bless you.
Oh, this place is trying to kill me. I'll bet there's mold in here, spores, poison ivy, God knows what. This is so not worth a 15% commission.
Tá, agora que vai começar o terror, né? O gordinho vai ficar por aí, sozinho. Ele não tem cara de quem sabe se defender, né? Eu acho que não tinha nada pra interagir. Isso aqui que eu achei engraçado, quer ver? Vou apagar a luz e vai ficar assustado. Ué?
Lock the door when I leave.
Yep, you go ahead and do what you have to do. I'll be fine. Alone, but fine. In a cabin straight from a horror movie.
Eu tinha reclamado na primeira vez que eu tinha... Se não me engano, né?
Real funny, Al.
Ah, é.
Real funny. Thank you.
Tá, vamos deixar ligado pra ele. Pra ele ficar tranquilo, hein? Ué, tem pilhas aqui? Eu já ia deixando coisa pra trás já. Tá, vamos lá pra... Tem coisa brilhando aqui também? Não. Bora pra fora. Agora que o bicho vai ficar... Agora vai ficar sério o negócio. Concentrar aqui que aqui dá... Fervinho. Se não me engano. Não tem nada, se não me engano. Corridinha aqui. Eu ainda não entendi que vai dropar depois se eu pegar todas as garrafas de café, né? Sei lá qual item que libera. Então, aqui, essa porta de trás aqui. Pra correr. Tinha que ter uma arma, na verdade. Mas é igual filme de terror, né? Sempre tem um burro que não... Pegar página de manuscrito. Tá, vamos ver esse manuscrito aqui.
Barry had never gotten along with Alice, but he knew Alan loved her with an almost frightening intensity. And now something had happened to Alice. And here was Al armed with a gun and saying things people got put in padded cells for. It was as if his friend had experienced a massive psychotic episode and was now totally disconnected from reality. It scared the shit out of Barry.
O Barry tá encucado, né? Porque o Alan, ele é cético. Acredita nesse tipo de coisa. Espíritos. Enfim. Que não vai dar pra usar o carro.
Barry had the keys to the car he rented. It wasn't a long walk to the visitor center, and it wouldn't be any use to me in the forest.
Barry tá
I knew I should have gone to the cops. This wasn't the smartest thing I'd ever done, but I was still angry with Barry for trying to talk me out of it. These people had called me right in the sheriff's station. The cops wouldn't scare them, and they had Alice.
Tem alguma coisa aqui? Acho que não tem nada não. Bora. Nem lembro de ter acontecido isso aqui. Acho que... Ah, sei onde que é. Aqui é TV. Não, é o rádio. Acho que é outra casa que é TV.
Welcome back to the show, folks. As promised, our very own Dr. Nelson has just parked his rear end in the studio. Doc, what's your Deerfest plan like? My plan?
Parece que essa noite vai morrer bastante gente nesse chalé aí. Desligar esse rádio aqui, não dá pra desligar? Deixa ele aí. Tem como acender a luz? Vamos acender. Sair. Ixi. Agora que começa a acontecer essa parada. Ver se tem algum item ali. Lembre. Não. Só a estamina que eu queria ver como que faz pra aumentar. Porque ele corre um pouco, ele já fica cansado. Vamos... É fumante, cara. Certeza que foi de Marlboro. Bora chutar essa porta aqui. Caraca. Isso que eu já joguei essa parte, né? Imagine. Tá, vamos abrir. Não tem nada. Vamos usar TV. Passar o filminho aí.
The cancer and cure of civilization. But some crimes are impossible to punish, especially in Night Springs. Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
He's inside, Agent. He's a weird one.
So, you're confessing to killing that guy, huh? Why?
And it's coming?
Yeah, but why would you do that? I mean, you're a nice guy. Normal. Took a kid to a soccer game. So how come at the game, you pick a guy and, quoting from the arresting officer's report here, assault the victim's head area repeatedly with the weapon of choice being a pair of bare fists? Wow, that sentence really flows, huh? Maybe you're not the literary type. Okay, so you mess him up. But why? Who was that guy? We couldn't ID him. Why would a guy like you do him like that?
I didn't like his face?
Well, you must have hated it, because you really went to town there. I mean, there's no way to tell what he looked like. No ID on him either.
That must be difficult.
But then we ran the fingerprints. Got a match. Your prints. Identical.
Huh, how about that?
Your son said you were wearing a white shirt when you took him to the game. The white shirt is on the dead guy.
It's plenty red now.
You won't get away with this.
Do you really think that's in any way relevant to me? I had plenty of time to talk to my boy before the cops arrived, you know? He won't stop screaming, am I right? You think he's ever gonna be okay? I left my mark. Believe me.
You bastard.
What? You gonna shoot me? What's the point? I'm going to prison.
Tá, o filminho aí. Parece que o cara matou ele mesmo. A vítima tinha a mesma digital que ele. Então é confuso para os policiais, né? Enfim. Se não me engano, aqui tem um manuscrito. É manuscrito. Vamos ler.
Rose knew that Rusty was in love with her, and she liked him too. She liked him a lot. He taught her to dance, and life had certainly taught her the value of a man who was gentle. He treated her well, made her smile, made her feel good. But Rusty wasn't the prince of her dreams, and that tended to underline the unbearable truth. She was no closer to that Hollywood magic than he was.
Rusty, tá, é um personagem novo. Aquele amigo dele é o Barry, né? É até bom eu estar jogando de novo essa parte, porque tava tendo dificuldade com os nomes, né? Então vamos, bora. Agora eu tô prestando mais atenção ainda. Que esse jogo aqui, se deixar passar alguma coisa, você fica meio perdido. Mais um manuscrito. Bora ali, né? Ó, a morte de Rusty.
The air in the visitor center was heavy with an awful smell, as if some rotten drowned thing had crawled up from its grave. Rusty kept coughing blood. My eyes were drawn to the twisted shape of his broken leg. The attack had been vicious. Max whined in his cage. Rusty's eyes were wild with fear and terror. He gasped. Mr. Wake, it happened just the way it was on that page.
Acho que Rusty é o cara do cachorro que tava cuidando do cachorro. Ah, o Max é o cachorro. Ah. Beleza.
The vision left me weak. This was no head injury.
Rusty, hang on! Oh God! I'm coming! Please, help me! Anybody? Help me! Help! Help me! Can you hear me? Anyone? Please,
Hello?
help! Back here. I'm back here. Hey.
Ah, é o Rusty aí, né?
Mr. Wake? Oh, hell.
Acho que vai acontecer o que...
It happened just the way it was on that page.
É, isso aí.
I found. Came true. It knew. So dark. It'll come back for me. You must.
É o que tava no manuscrito também explicando isso, né?
I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Whatever did this couldn't be R. Rusty had found a page from the manuscript. It would help me understand what had happened. Shh. Good boy.
Acho que aqui não tem nada.
The only way to make sure that Rusty was safe was to get the power running and the lights back on.
Tá, a gente tem que ligar a energia de novo. Tem um manuscrito aqui.
The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way, felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone.
Tá, esse é o manuscrito que o Rusty leu, né? Tava falando que tudo que aconteceu com ele tava no manuscrito. Então é esse que ele leu. Tá, bora. Esse jogo é um suspense. Deixa a gente querendo saber mais ainda. Por mais que a gente tenha um receio de medo, a gente fica curioso, né? Tá. Trancar. Aqui, acho que tem outro manuscrito.
The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the front of the building into splinters. Rusty was thrown across the lobby like a rag doll and hit the far wall hard. It didn't hurt until he tried to move and saw his leg bend the wrong way, felt the broken ribs stabbing him on the inside. Rusty howled in pain and fear, suddenly afraid to die alone. The visitor center was sturdy, but the impact turned the... At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the trunk of a tree. I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs burned. I was too exhausted to move. I tensed as I waited for the killing blow, but it never came. I raised my head. Nothing moved in the darkness beyond. For the moment, bathed in the cold
Eu acho
light,
que é esse
I was
manuscrito que tava ali no chão. É que eu abri muito rápido, daí foi pro anterior. Tá. Ah não. Vou pegar ainda, nem cheguei a pegar. Aí, agora vamos...
At the last instant, I changed direction and threw myself down. The axe splintered the
Ah,
trunk of
era
a
esse
tree.
mesmo.
I stumbled into the pool of bright light. My lungs
Então tá
burned.
certo.
I was too exhausted to move.
Eu até previ
I
qual
tensed
que ia
as I
ser o
waited for the
manuscrito.
killing blow, but it never came.
E não dá pra abrir. E... Ver se eu deixei algum item aqui. Que a gente precisa de munição, cara. Que daqui a pouco vai ferver de manito. Munição, pilha. Munição, pilha, revólver. Munição de revólver, né? Tá. Caraca,
I was too late. Someone had destroyed the circuit breaker. There was no way to get the lights back on.
Não tem o que fazer, né?
The ground was covered with oily patches that looked like liquid darkness.
Ah, essas manchas aqui, ó. Calma aí. Opa! Ei, vem aqui, irmão, vem aqui. Eu já sabia o que ia acontecer, então tá tranquilo, né? Caraca, velho. Essas manchas aqui que... Então... eletrocutando. Aqui é uma parte que eu não gostei, porque eles levaram um doguinho.
Something had torn a mammoth-sized hole in the wall.
Mataram o doguinho, cara. Aí mexe com o coração, né?
Please don't feed the animals.
Aqui é uma luta.
Fishing is only permitted for those visitors. License.
E vai ser complicado. É rápido. A voz dele. Cadê você, cara? Você tá aí? Para.
Run the park. This includes even you made or even simple berries.
Morre. O carinha, né? Que tinha morrido. Esqueci o nome dele. Entrou mais dois caras, né? Opa! Os caras estão jogando machado, velho. Deixa eu correr aqui. Isso era pilha. Putz, tô sem munição, velho. Ué. Pula. Opa. Ah, cara. Boa. Sei. Que eu já sabia já, mais ou menos o que ia acontecer, mas eu morri, eu acho que... Eu morri umas 2 vezes aqui. Não me engano. Ah. Limite atingido. Tá. Agora sair daqui. Aqui é o lado de fora do portão grande, né? Então a gente veio dali. Vamos pra cá. Aqui pra pular. Velho. Complicado. Estamos chegando perto da parte onde eu parei. Eu... Quase 50 minutos de vídeo.
Forget about it, Barry.
Oh,
It's just
Barry.
me going crazy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You're not crazy. I wish you were crazy, but you're not crazy.
Você não tá
Ow,
louco.
be careful.
Stay in the cabin.
Barry.
Don't open the door for anyone. I mean it.
Barry devia ter ficado com alguma arma, velho. Aqui é pra mim descer. Que eu acho que, se não me engano, tinha um manuscrito. Deixa eu ver o que tem aqui. Tá, vamos pegar esse manuscrito aqui.
In that last instant of consciousness, Rusty thought about Rose. He was older than she was. Rose was barely out of her teens, but she made him feel young and forget what a train wreck his long-dead marriage had been. He still wore the ring. He'd been waiting for her to tell him to take it off. Now she never would.
Tá, o Rusty foi o que acabou de morrer, né? Tá, vamos... Foi por aqui que eu terminei. Acho que é um pouquinho mais pra frente. Deixa eu ver. Aqui eu tava indeciso.
was at the far end of the nature trail.
Aqui eu tava indeciso de vir pra cá e pra lá. Só que aqui, tipo, é item secundário. Mas valeu a pena vir pra cá, porque tem as flechas aqui, ó, indicando. E tem uns itens que a gente tinha pego no começo do jogo. Aqui é só... É de contrabando, né? Da lei seca. Tá, o álcool passava por aqui. Tá, aqui estão esses itens aqui, ó. Ainda bem que eu descobri isso aqui, senão eu tava errado depois. A12. E também o sinalizador. Essa arma é boa, velho. Isso aqui quando ferve de inimigo, pra se livrar é facinho. Essa até eu vou ter que usar ali agora, porque... Ó. Deixa eu ver se tem mais coisa aqui. Acho que já era. Ó, os caras vão sair daqui desse meio, velho. Fica esperto. Sai daí. Opa! Zé Costinha. Sabia que tinha mais um. Falei, mas se tinha dois. Caraca. Tinha esquecido que isso daí aparece depois. Tá, vamos carregar as armas. Carregar 12, tá tudo certo. Esse aqui eu acho que eu vou ter que usar de novo, velho. Tem alguma coisa pra cá? Opa. Tá, vamos lá. Vamos lá. A estamina dele já era. Acho que é daqui. Não lembro se eu parei aqui ou não, mais pra frente, né? Tem um manuscrito aqui.
Nobody in Bright Falls seemed to know where Al was, but Rose, the waitress at the diner, had seen him. From what Barry could tell,
Al pretty much fell off the face of the earth when he left the diner. Rose was just the kind of fan that Al hated, but she really tried to help. She was smart too, knew a lot about what was going on in the town, knew a lot about Al, even knew who Barry was. Barry liked her. That was no big surprise. When it came to women, Barry and Al rarely saw eye to eye.
Rose, então, é a garçonete. Beleza. Tem mais coisa por cima aqui?
It's true what they say about the fall.
Vamos continuar. Parei por aqui. Vamos lá. Aqui que acabou e onde eu tinha parado. Então eu acho que eu vou encerrar por aqui. E aí o próximo vídeo continuo gameplay.